Honestly, Mike, it was not what I expected. Everybody was really upbeat and excited for the offseason and the changes that are coming, which kind of, in a way, without saying anything, told me how the guys sort of felt about what they were dealing with during the season. And, guys are excited. When I asked several of them about how they feel about the offseason, if they're excited, if they're concerned, if they're worried. And all of them, that I talked to told me, hey, I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's going on here. And when we get a guy, I'm going to get in here because I want to meet him right away and start talking to our new coach and get ready to get to work. And a lot of them said, they're going to work pretty much in a week or so. They're going to give themselves a little break and then hit the weight room and get ready to go for next season.
You gave Sam Bradford an A. I'm not really concerned so much about yesterday's game, but an A going into the offseason, is it enough to sway you, Scott? You've watched every game virtually. You've been at every game. You saw him in camp. Is he your quarterback in 2016?
When I stopped and looked at it from week 1 to week 16, I saw a lot of growth, and I saw a lot of, his feel for the pocket got a lot better. And, at times I think we were all guilty of trying to figure out what it was like to miss football for 2 years and think that, it shouldn't take him too long to get back in the mix. And I think, honestly, it did. I think when he came back from his injury in the bye week, he really came back with an opportunity to kind of get back into the swing of things of what his timing of the pass rush and when he needs to get rid of the ball. And I thought he did so much of a better job with that in my opinion, given what's out there, I would look to keep Bradford here. I would look to at least see what kind of money it might take from his agent to see where that might go. And, he's going to obviously wait and see what the new coach will do. But it also left an impression on me to hear how emphatically Jordan Matthews and Zach Ertz were so openly speaking about how much they want him back. Matthews said, he told me, I'm going – I already told Sam, I don't care how big your house is. I'm coming to spend some time with you so we can start working out, in March. So, and you got to remember, too, Bradford wasn't able to do a whole lot last offseason. So with a new offseason, a whole offseason where he's not injured anymore, to come back and really be able to prep and go at it, I would really like to see him here next year.
Scott Grayson, 97.3 ESPN.com. He's got all of Grayson's grades. All right. Then how much is Bradford's step forward and taking another step forward tied to the familiarity with the offense, meaning Pat Shurmur's got to stick around? Is one tied to the other, or do you think it's all right if Bradford comes back with another head coach and has to learn a whole new offense?
Well, even with Shurmur, there'd be some changes. I'm sure the lingo would change a little bit, some of the terminology, some of the things that they would do. Heck, you saw them yesterday run out from under center, run some running plays from under center. And I think either way, Bradford's looking at some changes. He's pretty much admitted that. With Shurmur, certainly there's familiarity going back to St. Louis. And would that help keep Bradford? Perhaps. I think ultimately, though, he's going to sit down and look at whoever comes in here, pay attention to what he's got here and already in place, which is a really good running, a backfield. That, look, we saw DeMarco Murray yesterday. If the offensive line gives him a hole, he'll make something happen. And now it was on one run, and I understand that. And I'm not trying to jump up and down and sing from the rooftops like, here's DeMarco Murray, let's use him. But that's the way he's designed to be used, and Chip Kelly didn't do that. Credit to Pat Shurmur for doing that. And DeMarco Murray said after the game that, they really worked on that play a lot this week, which is why he felt it was a lot more successful up the middle. So I think ultimately Bradford's going to look at what he's got with the new coach, and I don't think it has to be Shurmur to keep him here. But if you go out and hire a defensive coordinator, for example, then you're kind of sending the message to Bradford that perhaps he's got to wait even longer to find out what kind of offense he'd be dealing with. So I would expect him to go after an offensive-minded guy.
Yeah, the odd part is if you don't want Shurmur to be the head coach, is the new guy going to be comfortable having an offensive coordinator in here who might not have the same offensive philosophy that he does? So I almost feel that it's Shurmur or nothing, or Shurmur head coach or he's nothing moving forward here.
Yeah, I would kind of expect that too. And ultimately, I don't know, I get the vibe just in the way that Lurie was talking and what he wants from a head coach. Look, I know he loves Deuce Staley. I would almost expect Lurie to say, listen, I want Deuce kept on the staff to whoever the new guy is. But I think outside of him, Shurmur's nice. He's a good guy. I enjoy talking to him. He's got a much better personality than Chip. But I get the sense that Laurie wants himself from this staff, so to speak, and what it entailed.
Right, kind of break free, fresh start, completely clear this thing out. I know it was a wild week last week. You were on the air a lot. You were up there. Any sentiment that you feel that the players felt that this was a mistake, that the Eagles made a mistake?
No, not at all. In fact, I enjoyed talking to Marcus Smith yesterday because, you really get the sense that this guy has – somebody opened up the jail, and he's able to walk out a free man, and he's just so excited to be able to go out there and play without whatever was over top of him. And, I'm really starting to think that he was a Howie Roseman pick, and Chip, for whatever reason, wanted to try to cover up Marcus Smith as best as possible to make Howie look bad. It certainly looks that way. Here's a guy who had a lot of opportunities yesterday and finally got his first career solo sack. And again, like I said about DeMarco Murray, I'm not jumping up and down saying, look, Marcus Smith, we can build around this. No, but I'm thinking here's a guy who was so relieved to have an opportunity to get out from under Chip's domain. And I got the sense in the locker room that really all of them were, like I said, really looking forward to the changes, looking forward to what's coming, and excited about the fact that what they experienced is no longer going to be the case.
Let me ask you this then. 4-3-3-4, what would you like to see next year?
I wasn't really sure until I started talking to the players. And then, that was another popular question to the defensive guys I talked to, in particular, Brandon Graham and Connor Barwin. And both of them said, they would welcome a 4-3. They've played it in the past. They're comfortable in it. And honestly, I'm starting to think that may fit this aging linebacking core. When you look at it, with a 4-3, obviously there's one less linebacker on the field most of the time. And D'Amico Ryans is getting older. Who knows if he'll be back? I mean, Kiko Alonso, you don't really need to go into what that was. Jordan Hicks is the big bright spot, and you could really build around him in the middle. And you have some of the pieces you need up front. I think I'd kind of really welcome seeing a predominant 4-3 brought in here based on whoever is brought in to be the defensive coordinator. But obviously their philosophy will dictate what the new head coach wants to hire, and I got the sense these guys would like to see that change made.
Scott Grayson's got Grayson's grades for the Eagles-Giants up right now at 97.3ESPN.com. Happy New Year to you. Were you in Morgantown? Did you do a show out there?
Yeah, I was. We were out there doing our Cactus Bowl preview, but boy, what an exciting – did you ever make it out to Phoenix for the game?
I did not. Something kind of came up at the last minute, so I missed it, but I did watch. I was up till 2:30 watching it.
Yeah, I was too, and then I had an early morning flight to get out to MetLife in order to cover the Eagles. So, yeah, great game, though. All
right, man. Well, Happy New Year to you. Great job filling in, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got it, Mike. Thank you. Happy New Year to you, too.